Kanan with Ronnie on some business, and I need to know what it is.
You need to make an example of whoever this is.
You got no business with my son.
We made the game, Raquel.
Stay away from him. Somehow, got a way of grabbing you back.
She ain't gonna bother you no more.
Southside Jamaica Queens 1992, where the game is changing because of alliances, new threats, and new competition. Rock thought she was done with this life, but somehow it always has a way of pulling you back in. But now that she is, there is only one way out, just like Stefano warned. Although I would like to think for some characters, they could end up in jail. But Rock is going to find herself in competition with Ronnie and her own son Kanan, who seems to be getting his introductions to Ronnie's crew and some new players. Now, with the competition being his own mother Rock, he knows he's up against fierce competition, because when she burns shit down, she burns it all the way down, which is something he warned Symphony of in Season 2, which is what Rock is going to do in Episode 8. She's done messing around, from her meeting with Snaps and Pop, to putting a gun to who I believe is Juliana. Rock is going to take a competition head on. Elsewhere we have Lou being a liability. Duke seems to have gotten herself into some trouble, and is Marvin in trouble with the law, or is Detective Howard? We're going to be running through the trailer as usual, as well as bringing in a few scenes that we've seen from the official and season trailer that match up with the next episode to paint a bigger picture of Raising Kanan, Season 3, Episode 8. Now the title of Episode 8 is Reckonings, and the synopsis reads, as a despondent Lou becomes a liability for the family, Rock and Marvin work to get their new heroin operation up and running, amidst new competition from Kanan and Ronnie. Now what do they mean by the title Reckonings? In terms of the street and drug game where our characters find themselves going into Episode 8, it suggests that Lou, Kanan, Rock, and everybody else might be reaching a point where they have to confront the outcomes of their choices and actions, whether it be facing justice, dealing with enemies on the streets, to even competition from your own son. They're all gonna have to take action. Reckoning will also be where certain characters, Lou in particular, will be confronting his decisions to look at the consequences of his actions, and how he's destroyed not just his own life, but the lives of others, as he begins to continue to spiral out of control. But this also extends to the rest of the players like Mr. Berg and Detective Howard. Now first things first, this new partnership between Ronnie and Kanan is well and truly off the ground. We saw him introducing Kanan to Snaps, Pop, and a few other players in 306, but now he's going to be introduced to some more at different levels in the game. There are those at street level, and there are those who are levels above. Now we've got Kanan in a meeting with Snaps and Pop again at their restaurant, who have taken a real shine to Kanan. Snaps and Pop don't strike me as the type to just get in business with anyone, but with Ronnie making them a lot of money back in the day, and with Kanan being Rock's son, it does fuel them even more.
Mother is good at this work. So am I.
But let's not get it twisted. Snaps is an old head who's now retired, and he knows that Rock is also good at this game. Now this is a clip from the season trailer which does match up with Episode 8, so Kanan will know who his competition is, but he isn't afraid. With Ronnie behind his back, he's got a new aura and a sense of power, because people fear Ronnie. Now speaking of competition, we also hear Quan telling Rock she's got competition. Whether she knows that's Ronnie and Kanan, I think she just might, or if she doesn't, then she's gonna find out soon enough. In the trailer we see someone messing around with Kanan's couriers, which I wouldn't even be surprised if it was Rock. There's also another scene we haven't seen yet, where Rock comes to Kanan's school to tell him he's done, which is something I'm expecting to see in Episode 8.
You're done. Out of business.
You don't decide when I'm done.
Now let's just take it back for a moment. In 307, Duke told Rock Kanan was getting mixed in with Ronnie as well as Bonnie and Clyde, but she didn't know what the work was. But she definitely will be finding out at some point in Episode 8 that it is H, which is the last thing that Rock needed. Not because she's getting her operation just off the ground. Rock can handle competition, no doubt about it, but she's gonna have to deal with Kanan, who's also in business with one of her enemies. Let's also not forget Laura Watts from Child Services could drop in at any time, so it is a headache I think she could have done without. Now Rock will also be coming to meet Snaps, which is a meeting I'm looking forward to. When Ronnie sat down in front of Snaps and Pop earlier in the season, they spoke a little about their history, so I'm wondering if we learn a bit more. Did they ever work together in the past? What do they know about Rock, DEF CON, and High Post? Or if Unique and Ronnie pop up in the conversation? Let's wait and see, because they have been dropping subtle hints about the past, most recently through both Joyce and Panessa. But Rock tells him that he's got no business with her son and to stay away from him. With Snaps' warning, they made the game. So Snaps and Pop may be retired, but just like Pop said in 304, they're still very well respected on the streets because of who they are and what they've done. They do also like to dabble and invest in young entrepreneurs like Kanan, and why not? With Kanan being Rock's son, it is in his DNA to be a hustler and put in that work just like his mother. However, we all know Rock kneels to no man or woman, so it doesn't matter if Snaps made the game. Let's not forget what Kanan said in 301.
She need the game.
She is the fucking game.
So if they want to come up against Rock, then they better be ready, because she can ban shit all the way down, and who knows, she may even use Stefano's fairness at some point in the future. Now speaking of Stefano, Rock once told him that she was done shooting her way out of problems. If she was going to deal with the Italian mafia issue, then they were going to sit down and talk. Unfortunately, sometimes that doesn't work because not everybody is willing to listen, and some just deserve to be taken care of the good old-fashioned way, just like Juliana. We know Rock isn't afraid to get her hands dirty when she needs to, and when we talk about her fucking up her competition's career business, I think she is going to take it one step further by taking care of their connect.
Verás, si yo fuera usted, me preocuparía menos si hemos terminado con ella y mucho más si ella ya terminó con usted.
So I think Rock has this pointed in Juliana's direction, because not only is this a beef they need to come back round to, let's not forget that Juliana made a deal with Ronnie behind Joaquin's back, which I don't think will go down well with her cousin. When he finds out that Juliana made this deal without consulting him, I wouldn't even be surprised if he was the one who gave Rock his blessings to finally do what we've all been waiting for. Alternatively, Vanessa could actually tell Rock about Juliana because she did walk in on them in 307, so there are a few ways and reasons why Rock could get to Juliana. Now if she does, then what this will do is it will hit Ronnie and Kanan's work, because in essence, Rock would be eliminating their connect, so Rock is going to deal with their competition. But do you expect Ronnie to strike back? Of course he will. Ronnie isn't the kind of guy who will sit back and just take the hits. Ronnie is old school, so we've got him telling Kanan that she won't bother him anymore. So how has he responded? And are we going to see our first interaction between Rock and Ronnie? I really hope so, but let's wait and see. Now elsewhere we've got Rock telling Marvin that she does what she has to do to make that money, as well as how she thought she was done. But somehow this game just has a way of pulling you back in, which is something we are all too familiar with when it comes to Ghost. No matter how hard you try to become someone else, you can't escape your true identity. It also looks like Joyce is back looking for some more cash, which she is making a bit of a habit of. That's going to be 2 episodes in a row where she's coming knocking on her kids' doors. So I wonder if they're building up to something with Joyce, or is she just here to deliver some home truths to Rock, just like she did in season 1. Now the aftermath of Lou's confession meant that he had to tie up loose ends with Chantel, which will only make him worse. We're going to see him with a drink in hand but also pulling the trigger, although who he's firing at we don't know at this moment in time. But Rock knows that she needs to help Lou get cleaned up, especially with law enforcement still breathing down their necks. She's trying to get her operation up and running, and there's a huge threat lurking in the shadows in Ronnie Mathis, so Rock definitely does need to help Lou. Now is it going to be over for him? That's the real question. It does look like it's only going to end in one way for Lou, but that's why I think there is a twist to the tale, and if I'm going to be honest, I'm actually hoping he does make it to season 4, where we then see a bit of a redemption arc, just like we've seen with other characters across Power. But let's wait and see where they end it for Lou going into the home stretch. Now elsewhere in the trailer, we've got Jukebox who seems like she's got herself into a bit of trouble, but Juke is someone who can handle herself. We've seen it before in both seasons 1 and 2, so I think she's going to be just fine even if it is 2-on-1. I'm expecting Juke to hold it down, because she does fear no one. Although the question we should be asking is, who are these girls and why are they coming after Juke? Now with all of that being said, we know that episode 8 is normally a huge one in the Power universe, and I'm expecting no different. These last 3 episodes are really going to be explosive for what's already been an explosive season. Let's be honest, I think this season of Power has been some of the best we've seen in a very long time, so I'm expecting them to go out on a high, and also to plant the seeds for season 4 at the same time. But drop all your thoughts down below in the comment section and let me know what your predictions are going into the home stretch when it comes to the streets with law enforcement, and how do you see this playing out between Rock and Marvin versus Ronnie and Kanan? Drop all your comments down below in the comment section, and as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.